Booked and busy, stacked calendars. That is the life of a leader, right? I mean, you might be in demand, but are you in command of your life? You see, me and busyness, oh, we go way back. I mean, decades. You know, when I was in college, I missed my very own birthday. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. 5.5 years later, when I was in grad school, I did it again. You see, my birthday is in May, right when finals time is. And so I would get so caught up with busyness and the expectation of what a serious student would look like, that I would be in the stacks, head down, studying. Oh, I mean, I needed to study, don't get me wrong, but this was also about the optics. I needed to be seen at these prestigious universities, taken as a serious student. So year after year, I would wake up a day or two later, realizing that I was a whole year older. And this went on. I carried my best friend busyness with me onto my professional life. When I was 38, 7.5 months pregnant, and working from home, I started to experience complications breathing, which meant that my unborn child, he couldn't breathe either. And so I let my husband know. I said, we've got to get to the hospital. But I also paused to grab my cell phone to inform my boss that I couldn't be on that global call that evening. I picked up my phone and I texted, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I apologized. I'm so sorry I cannot be on that call this evening. I'm on my way to the emergency room. I can't breathe. And he was so disconnected from me and my unborn child's humanity that he wrote back, well, can you send the slides before you go? That was it. That was the end of the text. But you know, busyness is a meddler. It's a powerful little companion. And I went and I found my laptop, heaving for breath, and I sent those slides. You see, busyness had me confused on my priorities. And when I finally looked up and saw the perplexed look on my husband's face, he was probably also a little terrified of the choice that I had made. This is when I knew I needed to break up with busyness. You see, busyness is a commitment to a norm that should have never been normalized. Today, we often measure our worth by how much we have on our plates. But what if I were to tell you that busyness is no virtue, and it certainly is not your friend? I mean, yes, probably a companion. I've brought him along on plenty of journeys, along with me. But see, busyness is like that friend that you brought to the dinner party, and as soon as you start talking, they interject, right? They don't want you to know yourself, and they don't want anyone else to know you either. You see, your purpose is not your productivity. Busyness has us so caught up that we lean into concepts like executive presence instead of being present. I mean, who wants a presence over a person anyway? Who are we? Tupac at Coachella? A hologram? I mean, really. When you step back on things and start to think about how busyness shows up, you start to see that it doesn't even want you to know your rooted beliefs. your ethos, where your virtues and your character intersect. No, and busyness does not care about your wellness. It doesn't want you to see your humanity. It won't even let you rest. You see, as a leadership advisor and coach today, my clients, they ask me a question they don't even realize that they are asking every day. That question: when did I get so busy that I forgot what mattered to me? Why I lead and why I lead here anyway? How to connect with people. You see, busyness shows up in a way that, okay, so my clients, they don't ask me that clearly and they don't ask me that way. It shows up in a way that possibly all of us may be able to relate to. You know, I'm so busy, I haven't even eaten today. You know the drill. You go and you get that beautiful salad and you take a couple of bites out of it, and then you saunter back over to your desk to check a couple of emails, only to figure out that a few more emails in, that salad has become your wilted dinner. And you know, busyness shows up in a way that when you stop and think about it, you say, oh my goodness, I don't know what I think. I haven't had time to think. Or how about this one? How do I get my team to trust me, open up and be vulnerable, and to truly connect? You see, busyness, it may be hard to break up with, but when you do, when you prioritize the pause, you start to gain some perspective. And you can pay attention to the things that really matter, like when my 7-year-old son, my now 7-year-old son says, "Mama, Mama, look at me." And I pause in enough time to see that a breakdance cipher has busted out on my kitchen floor. That reminds me of how much I love 1990s hip hop, but how much I love his smile even more. You see, when you prioritize the pause, you start to make some space for some things, like focus, intentionality, joy, peace, and fulfillment. You know, when you break up with busyness and you release the grip that it had on you, you start to see that you can pick up some new things, right? You start feeling a little happier, and you are a little less anxious because you've realized that you're rested. You see, when you didn't eat that salad, the thing is that you're human. You need to eat. And when you didn't have that space to think about anything, you are human. You deserve and require rest. And you know what else? When you were trying to figure out how to connect with your team, you have to realize that connection, we all need it. Belonging is a human need. So when we break up with busyness, it takes a life assessment. You have to take a look at things and see, are you living this life, or are you just checking off lists? Are you being, or are you just busy? When you break up with busyness and you find some new capacity, you find some new space, you find some space for a new friend, one that will hold you accountable, to hold you to your ethos, where your virtues and your values intersect, and show you and the world exactly what does matter. You meet this new friend, and it's possibly the best friend you'll ever meet, that will tell you exactly who you are and allow for you to pick up some new habits like collaboration intentionality, things that visionary leaders are made of. And this new best friend might even introduce you to one of the coolest people you will ever meet. Yourself.